Hey, and in this video we're just going to cover some aspects of writing instructions. So let's get on with it and have a look first of all at a few things and what the purpose of instruction is, and it is to inform or direct someone about how to do something. So we are just using an easy example here. It could be how to bake a cake, because most people try baking a cake and it's a good way to practice writing instructions. Or it might be getting from one place to another, or to give instructions on a process. So it might be some science thing or project or something that you're doing. So the important thing too to remember is that you've got to think about who you're writing this for. So when you give the instructions, you'll thinking about the person that you want to read your instructions. So they're just a few things to think about. Now, another really important thing is when you write instructions, the best thing you can do is actually try and do it yourself. So if it is a cake, then bake the cake, and while you're doing it, you can create a list of the things that you're doing or taking photos. So you must know your topic and know exactly how to do it. So in this way, you know the steps before you start writing them down, and you're not guessing, and it just works so easy. So there's a bit of preparation time, but it's worth doing it because your instructions will be really sharp. So you really should have done this process before you start writing. You've baked this cake before writing the instructions. You must be really familiar with the process of baking this cake. So we covered some of those areas. You must know this recipe and how it should turn out. And also when you do it yourself, you start learning about the things that might trip up the reader or trip up the person doing the instruction. And so you can just add these little tips along the way. And clearly the end result should be as perfect and as good as you want it to be. So to get started, get everything together that you need. Take photos or find pictures of the same thing. And I think it's a really good idea to label a lot of these things, because the reader needs to know what you're actually doing. And pictures are just such a powerful way of understanding a process. And then have a list of the ingredients if you're baking, if it's a science experiment, have a list of these things so that the reader can quickly look at it and say, yep, I need this, 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 and this, and they can organize those things. And of course, a picture or a photo of the end result is actually really, really good, because if you know where you're going and what the end result will be, it just helps to get the reader their head into what you're presenting. So have a plan in their head and also in your head. So here we go, how to write instructions. It's really important that your steps are in order. Write them with short, simple sentences. And as I mentioned earlier, give hints or warnings. And the best way you can do this is when you've done it yourself and you know where you got tripped up, and clearly others are going to get tripped up as well. So they may need just a little extra help. So use commands like do this, mix, shake, then do this. Those types of words are really good. And if you need to, use diagrams and photos to help. Maybe some parts are quite tricky, so an image is always really, really helpful. And remember to number the steps in order. Then, of course, review your instructions. Do it in your head to see if it makes sense, and because you've done it before, it should go quite smoothly now. So when using language, consider using verbs like shake, mix, linking words after, once, then. Commands, do this, you must. And some other words to consider is put, when, then, next, and so forth. So you can read those. Keep in mind the clear instructions are really important, and that they are in the correct order, short sentences, and don't bullet point. So here are some errors that you can try to avoid. Sometimes instructions are not clear, and use of unnecessary words. Don't trip them up. And instructions not in the correct order, maybe a lack of photos, especially of the end product or of tricky parts. So good luck. I hope it all goes well.